Hello students, in this video we will be studying the following topics of some basic concepts of chemistry. The first topic is law of multiple proportion. Second is Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. Third is Avogadro's law, and fourth is Dalton's atomic theory. So the third law, that is law of multiple proportion, states that this law was given by Dalton in 1803. According to this law, if two elements can combine to form more than one compound, the masses of one element that combine with a fixed mass of the other element are in the ratio of small whole numbers. For example, hydrogen combines with oxygen to form two compounds, namely water and hydrogen peroxide. So here we will see that in the formation of water, 2 gram of hydrogen combines with 16 gram of oxygen to form 18 grams of water, while 2 gram of hydrogen combines with 32 gram of oxygen to form 34 gram of hydrogen peroxide. So here we will see that in the formation of water, that is H2 plus half O2 gives H2O. In case of formation of hydrogen peroxide, H2 plus O2 gives H2O2, that is hydrogen peroxide. So we will see that in case of formation of water, 2 gram of hydrogen reacts with half O2, half moles of O2, that means half into cut. So it will be 1 O. Okay? And for 1 mole of oxygen, the mass is 32 gram. So 2 gram of hydrogen combines with 32 gram of, sorry, here 1 oxygen is there, half into 2, that is 1. So that is 16 gram of oxygen to form 18 gram of water. But in case of formation of hydrogen peroxide, 2 gram of hydrogen reacts with 2 oxygen. Okay, so that is 16 to the 32 gram of oxygen to form 34 gram of hydrogen peroxide. So according to law of multiple proportion, two elements, if combined to form more than one compound, so here hydrogen and oxygen, two same elements combine to form more than one compound. One is water and one is hydrogen peroxide. Then in that case, the mass of one element, which is variable, okay, that is oxygen, which combined with the fixed mass of other element. So fixed mass of other element means hydrogen. It is having the fixed mass in both the compounds. So in that case, the mass of the oxygen, which is variable, is in the simple whole number ratio. Okay, that is 16 is to 32. So that becomes 1 is to 2. Okay. So here the masses of oxygen, that is 16 gram and 32 gram, which combined with a fixed mass of hydrogen, which is 2 gram, bear a simple ratio, that is 16 is to 32 or 1 is to 2. Another example is nitrogen forms 5 stable isotopes. They are N2O, N2O2, N2O3, N2O4 and N2O5. In all the five oxides, two parts of two nitrogen are there. So for 1 mole of nitrogen, it is 14. So 2 mole of nitrogen, so that is 28. So nitrogen 28 parts, oxygen is only 1 mole, so it is 16 parts. In the second one, nitrogen 28 parts, oxygen 2 moles, so 32 parts. Nitrogen 2 parts, oxygen 16 threes are 48 parts. Nitrogen 2 parts, oxygen 16 fours are 64 parts. Nitrogen 2 parts, that is 28, and oxygen 16 fives are 80 parts. So here also we can see that one of the element is having fixed mass, okay, while the other element is having variable mass. So the one whose mass is variable, it will be in simple whole number ratio, okay. So your ratio of oxygen is 16 is to 32 is to 48 is to 64 is to 80, okay. Now if you want to convert this ratio in the simple ratio, then we have to divide it with the common multiple. If you divide by 16, so it will become 16 upon 16, that is 1, is to 32 upon 16, that is 2, is to 48 upon 16, that is 3, is to 64 upon 16, that is 4, is to 80 upon 16, that is 5. So the simple whole number ratio of oxygen is 1 is to 2 is to 3 is to 4 is to 5. Now next law is law of reciprocal proportion. This law was given by Richter in 1794. So this is not in our textbook. Okay, we are discussed for the competitive exams. So this law was given by Richter in 1794. The law states that when definite mass of an element A combines with two other elements B and C to form two compounds. Okay, so if A combines with B, okay, to form a compound, and if the same element A combines with C to form another compound, then B and C will also combine with each other to form the third compound, okay, that is BC. Then in that case, the ratio of the masses of B and C in case of compound BC will be same as the masses of as the ratio of the masses of B and C in the compounds A, B and AC. Okay, that is the meaning of this law. Okay, if element A combines with B as well as element A combines with C to form two different compounds A, B and AC, and if B and C can combine with each other also to form a compound BC, then the ratio of the mass, that is the combining masses of B and C, are in the same proportion in BC as their masses are there in AB and AC. So let us take an example to understand this. In this example, we have taken hydrogen as element A, sodium as element B, and chlorine as element C. So element A, hydrogen, can combine with element B, sodium, to form a compound NaH. Similarly, element A, hydrogen, can combine with element C, chlorine, to form HCl. So here we will see that the number of hydrogen atoms is same, okay, in NaH also and HCl also. So here we will see that the mass of A is fixed or constant, okay. Now sodium is the element B and here chlorine is the element C. So in NaH, the mass of sodium is 23 parts, okay, and in case of HCl, the mass of chlorine is 35.5 parts. So now when B and C, that is sodium and chlorine, combine with each other to form a new compound BC, that is NaCl. So here we will see that the mass of sodium is 23 and mass of chlorine is 35.5. That means the ratio of the elements B and C in the compound BC is same as the ratio of B and C in compounds AB and AC. Okay. So here we will see in case of NaH also sodium is 23 and in NaCl also sodium is 23. In the same way Cl in HCl is 35.5 and Cl in NaCl is also 35.5. So ratio of B and C in compound BC is same as the ratio of B and C in compound AB and AC. Okay. So for example, hydrogen combined with sodium in NaH in the ratio of 23 parts sodium and 1 part hydrogen, and in HCl 35.5 parts chlorine and 1 part hydrogen. So in both the compound, A is having the constant mass, okay, while B and C are having variable mass. So when B and C combine with each other, that is A combined with Cl to form NaCl. So in NaCl also the ratio of sodium and chlorine is same, okay, that is 23 is to 35.5. And in NaH and HCl also the ratio of sodium and chlorine is same only, that is 23 and 35.5. So that means that the combining masses of B and C are in same proportion, okay, either they are in same proportion like here, or in some cases they bear a simple ratio to the mass of B and C, okay, which combine with a constant mass of A. Now fifth law is Gay-Lussac's law of gaseous volumes. This law was given by Gay-Lussac in 1808. He observed that when gases combine or are produced in a chemical reaction, they do so in a simple ratio by volume, provided all gases are at same temperature and pressure. Okay. So there are some chemical reactions in which the combining reactant are gases, and there are some reactions in which the products formed are gases. So whenever the gases react or whenever the gases are formed in a chemical reaction, they always combine or form in the simple ratio by their volumes. Okay. Let us take an example. Hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. Okay. So in this case, hydrogen reacts with oxygen to form water. So here reactants are gases. So whenever reactants combine, they combine in the simple ratio of their volumes. But what is the necessary condition? That all gases should be at same temperature and pressure. Okay? Where hydrogen and oxygen are at same temperature and pressure, then in that case, here you can see that one H2 reacts with half O2, okay, to form one H2O on the basis of balanced equation. So one H2 reacts with half O2. So suppose hydrogen is 100 ml. Now oxygen is half of hydrogen. So if hydrogen is 100 ml, oxygen should be 50 ml. Then water will not be 150, okay? Because you can see here, H2 is 1, O2 is half. So H2O is not 1 and half, okay? It is 1 only. That means H2O is having the same volume as hydrogen. So H2O form will be 100 ml, okay? So here we can see that the gases react bear a simple ratio, okay? That is 100 is to 50. So if you take the simple ratio, it will be 50 2s are 100 and 50 1s are 50. So it is 2 is to 1. Now next law is Avogadro's law. Avogadro's law states that equal volumes of all gases at the same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. Okay. Now, what is the meaning of this law? Suppose I am having two vessels, and if both the vessels are having same volume, okay, and if both the vessels are kept at same temperature and pressure, okay. So here you can see the temperature, pressure, volume, all are same, okay. So both the vessels are at same temperature, both the vessels are having same pressure, both the vessels are having same volume. Then in that case, if in one of the vessels, if you are placed, if you have placed hydrogen gas, and in another vessel, if you have placed oxygen gas, then both hydrogen and oxygen will be having same number of molecules. Okay. So we have to accept that they will be having same number of molecules. Okay. So equal volumes of different gases at the same temperature and pressure should contain equal number of molecules. Now next is Dalton's atomic theory. This theory was given by John Dalton in 1808. Now when this theory was given, at that time protons, electrons and neutrons were not discovered. Okay. So at that time it was considered that atom is the smallest indivisible particle, that is uncuttable particle. Okay. So what are the main postulates of Dalton's atomic theory? The first postulate is matter consists of indivisible particle known as atoms. Second postulate is all the atoms of a given element have identical properties, including identical mass, and atoms of different elements differ in mass. So if we are having two atoms, and if both the atoms belong to hydrogen, then both the atoms will be having same properties. They will be having same mass and same size. Okay, so their size will also be same. But if we are having two atoms belonging to two different elements, then their mass will be different and their size will also be different. Now third postulate is compounds are formed when atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio. So here we will see that in the formation of any compound, for example, if we talk about water, okay, so water is formed when hydrogen and oxygen combine in fixed ratio, that is 2:1. So here you can see that water is a compound made up of two elements, okay, hydrogen and oxygen. So always elements combine in fixed ratio to form compound. So the atoms of different elements combine in a fixed ratio to form compounds. Then the fourth postulate is chemical reactions involve reorganization of atoms. These are neither created nor destroyed in a chemical reaction. Okay, that means during chemical reaction, just reorganization or rearrangement of atoms takes place. Otherwise, during the chemical reaction, atoms are neither created nor destroyed. That means the number of atoms on the reactant side and the product side of the equation remain same. So Dalton's theory is having these four postulates, and these four postulates explain the laws of chemical combination. So whatever laws we have studied from 1 to 6, okay, all the laws can easily be understood on the basis of Dalton's theory. So Dalton's theory is giving a support to the laws of chemical combination. Thank you.